Hi everyone, welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm the host David Tear. All year I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 rock songs of all time from roughly 1954 to 1999. Today I'm up to song number 2964, and that one is Out of Limits by the Marquettes. This was a song that reached number three on Billboard in early 1964. It was recorded by surf rock group called the Marquettes, late 1963. Here's the singles cover, which I think looks exactly the same as the album cover. And it's an interesting song. I kind of like it. Here's a picture of the Marquettes. Like I said, they were a surf rock band from the early '60s, kind of like the Ventures. There were a number of surf rock. Surfing was starting to become popular in the early '60s, and I guess they had one of the types of music associated with what they called surf rock, which is kind of instrumental rock and roll. So I guess these guys were one of those bands. Um, but I kind of like this song, Out of Limits, and the title is based on a sci-fi TV show called The Outer Limits. I never actually watched this show. I heard it was a pretty good show. And it begins, they say, there is nothing wrong with your TV set. They show kind of I guess a picture from an oscilloscope of a sine wave or something. Makes it look like the TV's doing something weird. So they start by saying, there's nothing wrong with your TV set. And then I think they say, we control the audio and we control the video. And I heard it was a pretty cool intro, but I never watched this show. I think it was another show kind of like The Twilight Zone, which was another very popular TV, sci-fi TV show from the early 60s. I have watched several episodes of this one. And this was a good show. And the guy in the middle, his name was Rod Serling. He was the creator of the show as well as the narrator. And it was a pretty scary show. It was a weird show. There were a lot of really weird plots. But I guess that was the point. It was supposed to be bizarre things that were happening for no explainable reasons, and they even made I think at least one TV remake of this show in the '80s. I watched several episodes of the '80s version as well, which I also liked. That one was in color. But anyway, Rod Serling, I guess, was upset at the Marquettes for using his theme to the show, and I think everybody knows the theme song, which has kind of become synonymous with just weird things happening. Pretty weird theme song, but the Marquettes actually use that in the song. You can hear the whole melody is kind of like that. Maybe not quite exactly like that, but then they add some extra tune and some drum beats, and it's a catchy song. I mean, I think it was pretty clever how they worked in the theme of the Twilight Zone into this song, but unfortunately, they never got permission. They never got the rights from. Rod Serling to use the theme to the Twilight Zone, so he ended up suing them. And I don't know how much money they had to pay to Rod Serling. Maybe they lost out on this song because I don't know how much they made from it, and I don't know how much they had to pay Rod Serling for the damages. But this happens a lot, unfortunately, in rock and roll. There's a lot of copyright issues, and there's been a lot of bands over the years that have either used or sampled other songs without permission, and unfortunately, I guess the Marquettes did this with Out of Limits. So, but I still think it's a good song, and that's why I featured it on my list at number 2964. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.